Hello, and welcome to a Marksmanship coverage guide for the WoD Beta. I'm just going to go over a few things like the changes to the spec, a few visual changes, your rotation, and the new talent build that you're going to be rolling with. I hope you enjoy the video. Right, so to start off, I'll talk about the changes and what they removed and what they've added and changed to the abilities. The first and quite a noticeable change is the fact that they've removed Serpent Sting from the actual spec. Not only have they removed the button, but they've removed it so that it no longer applies at all. Like, you can't get Serpent Sting as marksmanship, which for me, I don't feel like they needed to do that. I think they could have just done what they did to survival and apply it when you use arcane shot or something. But instead for marksmanship maybe aim shot, but I don't know, I think it might, they should add it back in, like, I don't really see why they changed it. We also have a mastery revamp, which for some of you older hunters, you'll recognise. But it is sniper training, so when you stand still for 3 seconds, you'll gain sniper training for 6 seconds, which increases your damage, shot range and critical strike damage by 11%, and that scales with your mastery. This means the old mastery is gone. I can't remember what it was called because I didn't play marksmanship. Something, I don't know, some random name. Arcane shot has been removed from the spec. I feel like this is a very good change because you never really used it, to be honest. When I did play it in like just messing around in raids or something like that, just keeping up to date with the spec, it felt like it was just an unused button when you had aim shot to use, and that also counted for the 2-set, the tier 16 2-set rapid fire reduction thing. So it felt like an unnecessary button, and I feel like after playing the spec in WoD Journal a little bit, that it has been a very good change. I don't feel like there's just a wasted button on my bar anymore, which is really really nice. Chimera shot has been changed so that it's no longer just a single target ability. I'll demonstrate on these dummies, but it also hits a nearby target as well. It's sort of like a cleave. It's like the glyphed ice lance for frost mages, if any of you play a mage or something. So now it hits 2 targets, sorry, for both nature and frost damage. I think the main target is nature and the off target is frost, and as you can see from that, it hits pretty fucking hard. So yeah, it's good. It's a nice change, nice damage increase at least. Chimera shot has also had another change. The focus cost of it has been reduced from 50 focus to 35 focus, which I don't really see this playing too much of a big part. We already have 120 focus to start off with, so it won't. I don't feel like it's going to influence the rotation too much. It's always going to be keep it on cooldown, regardless of what the focus is. A few talent changes. Murder of Crows has had a pretty significant change. The focus cost has been halved, the cooldown has been halved, and the length that it's on the target has also been halved. This is good. They planned on making it more like rotation friendly. Playing with the spec, I feel like it's done that. You know, you get to use it a lot more than you would, and yeah, it doesn't feel like it has that much of an impact on rotation. But then again, it didn't in Mist of Pandaria either. So I feel like it's a nice quality of life change. At least it just feels a lot nicer. We just have a new talent. For those of you who've been playing marksmanship in Mist of Pandaria, you already know what steady focus is. It's when you cast 2 focus shots in a row and you get I think it was an attack speed buff for 30% or something, maybe even 20. but they've actually changed it now so that when you use 2 steady shots in a row, your focus regeneration from your steady shot will be increased by 50% for 10 seconds. For me, I've been switching between Thrill of the Hunt and Steady Focus because Thrill of the Hunt has also been changed. It's now you have a 6% chance per 10 focus spent on focus costing attacks to trigger Thrill of the Hunt. And if you do, 10 times 5, which is what your aim shots are, that's a 30% chance for it to trigger every time you use an aim shot, which for me is really nice. And it also works well with the tier 17 set bonuses, but I'm not going to explain those yet. And as you know, it reduces the focus cost of our next 3 arcane shots, aim shots, and multi shots by 20. I'm pretty sure aim shot wasn't included in the tooltip in Mist of Pandaria. I could be wrong, but I don't think it was, so that's a nice change for marksmanship at least. Stampede is now a talent. If you haven't watched my survival guide, it's not that big for any of the specs currently actually. I know Beast Mastery is also speccing Blink Strikes and Survival speccing Murder of Crows as well, so Stampede has sort of become a little redundant. It's going to be the next Lynx Rush. Onto the next tier. Glaive Toss is not that strong anymore. It's not that strong. Compared to what they did to Barrage, they changed it so that Barrage costs twice as much focus. I believe the cooldown is around about the same. It might be 10 seconds shorter actually. But it hits like a fucking truck. Like this, it goes ham. It's about a 2.6 second channel, and it does around about 50,000 damage to the main target, and an average of 25,000 to other targets that might be in a frontal cone. And there are a lot of fights in Blackrock Foundry and Heimel where cleave is going to be really, really helpful. So Barrage is definitely going to be the main talent for this tier. Glaive Toss, it just doesn't do enough damage at the moment. I think they're probably going to tune the damage a little more before release, but still I don't see Barrage getting beaten by Glaive Toss unless they nerf the Barrage damage, which I don't think they should do. It's not huge, it's just really nice to have. And for the last tier, exotic munitions I played around with, but it's the damage output compared to Lone Wolf especially is nothing. For me, I think focusing shot is quite nice actually. Like, it's a long cast. It doesn't deal that much damage, but it gives me a shit ton of focus. And as marksmanship hunter, a lot of your abilities consume a lot of focus all of the time. So if you are sort of the type of casual player that likes feeling like a sniper or whatever with like really long casts or something, then focusing shot is definitely the one you'll want to go for, because it does give a really nice feel to the spec. But for the raiders and the people that want to min-max their damage all the time, Lone Wolf is the talent to go with. It's pretty huge. Aim shot, camera shot, and kill shot have a 30% damage increase. Same with auto shot and steady shot. Auto shot you probably won't even be doing that much as marksmanship due to the amount of time you are casting. It'll only be in between casts, so that's not that huge, but the others are very huge. And especially with the one of the perks you get through leveling, enhanced kill shot, it can now be used at targets with 35% or less. So it's like assassination rogues sort of execute now at 35% rather than 20% like all of the other generic executes. But that about sums it up for talents at least. Glyphs have not changed at all. They have no damage increase in glyphs, just survivability, so the same will apply unless they add some more in. Glyph of Animal Bond, Glyph of Deterrence, and Glyph of Disengage. One thing to note is though that the Glyph of Aim Shot, which allows you to be moving whilst casting, has been removed, and it's just been put as baseline, so you can cast Aim Shot and move regardless to if you're using a glyph or whatever. So that's really nice, but the thing is, for marksmanship, you don't want to be moving because you want to be keeping your sniper training up at all times. Because as soon as you move, it will start to go onto a CD, and when you stand still, the buff will come up saying that you are about to get your sniper training. You have to stand still for 3 seconds or whatever. So something to note: you can cast a move, but you really should avoid doing it unless you're tracking everything with weak auras and you don't miss any sniper training uptime. But that's about it. I'll go over a few visual changes really quickly. One of them is Chimera Shot, which I've already showed you. It just fires 2 different shots now, one green and one blue, representing frost damage and nature damage, which I find really cool. I think it's a nice visual change compared to what we had. Master's Call has had a little bit of a revamp. It looks, I'll stick it on Alt-E. It looks pretty cool, I think. Okay, never mind. Oh, I need a pet for this. Fine. Okay, I guess I'll just edit this bit out, but let me just get a little pet out. There you go, I'll get the cat out. Right, so Master's Call has had a little bit of a revamp. Looks much cooler now. I like the little green ring around the feet. I think that's pretty cool. Still on the same sort of CD range though, so that's not that cool. I can dismiss you now, Mr. Cat. And one final change visually are the traps. They've all had quite a significant change. Well, I think the fire trap has actually been changed yet again. It's now just a dot rather than just spreading all over the floor. And I'm sorry for the Brewfest music, man. They're just ruining Shatra right now. Ice trap. This is the AoE one. So that looks the same. There's just a little bit of a difference when it hits the actual target and blows up. One thing to note is that they've actually removed the snake trap. But you can get a glyph. Yeah, you can get a glyph, but it removes ice trap and replaces it with snake trap. So I guess it would be very circumstantial. I guess PvP it might be quite nice because it is quite a significant movement speed, but you lose quite a lot of CC. So I don't know. I'm not a PvP expert, so someone will have to work that out. And Ice Trap has had quite a big change. Did even work on one of those, but pretty much just like ice spikes come out of the ground around it, rather than putting it in like an ice block now, which is quite nice. I quite preferred the ice block because then I could see when it was actually CC'd, and it is a little harder to see when it's CC'd with the new one. But oh well, we'll learn, we'll live. Okay, I'll start you off on your rotation. I'm using a macro for my racial, a trinket proc, and my potion. So that's got all of my CDs in it other than rapid fire because it's on a bit of a weird cooldown. So to start off with, we're going to use a Chimera Shot because we're not using Glaive Toss to precast on a pull timer. Then we're going to use our I'll use my macro and rapid fire, and then I'm going to be using barrage, and then out of barrage I use crows, and then I'm going to spam aim shot until whilst we have usually like lust up and all of our trinket procs. I'm just going to spam aim shot because the focus regen is enough to allow you to just spam it, and every time it crits it gives you a portion of the focus cost back, so it does allow you to just sit there and spam, and because it does so much damage it's really worth it. And then simply after the burst rotation is done, you'll go into a priority system of focus building to cast aim shot, barrage when it's ready, and crows when it's ready, and keeping chimera shot on cooldown. I'd say keeping chimera shot on cooldown is more of a priority than focus building for aim shot, because without trinket procs and stuff like that, a cast time isn't really going to be worth it in comparison to an ability that does around about the same amount of damage, just not on a cast time and has less focus. So priority number 1 is keep chimera shot on cooldown, and priority number 2 is focus builds for the point of using barrage, crows and aim shot. And keep an eye on your trinket procs, because then you can start using aim shot a little more than you would normally. Because of the crit, it allows you to just spam it. Due to the, I can't remember what ability it is, but it allows you, I'll find it for you quick. There you go, enhanced aim shot. Your aim shot critical strikes grant you 20 focus, and also with the set bonuses in Marksmanship, aim shot critical strikes grant you an additional 15 focus, so that every time it crits, we gain 35 of the 50 focus back for using an aim shot. If you factor in normal focus regen, this is around, it should work out to be around about 45 focus for casting an aim shot and it critting. So that's really nice, and that's what allows us to just spam. Alright, so I'll get into the rotation now. So I'm going to use, I'll just slow it down so that you can see it. I'm not going to speak. Now our trinket procs have dropped off and barrage has just come back up. As you can see, I'm around 50k sustained just after the burst. Dropping that, it's probably going to drop down to around about 35k or something, which for right now in the game is very, very strong. So I don't know what the burst peaked at, but it was not something to be ashamed of, that's for sure. Yeah, see, I just got a trinket proc, so now I'm allowed to just spam my aim shots. Maybe even use a barrage if I have the focus for it. I always love to finish off a barrage with a chimera shot, just for the fact that the focus regen whilst you're in barrage simply just allows you to use it. It's only 35 focus, and it does, like what you just saw there, it crit for 100k. And for an ability used just after barrage has finished casting, that's huge. Look, 90k there with only a scope proc up, so that's pretty insane. And finished at around about 35k for, I don't know what, I guess like a minute fight or something, which isn't too bad. That about sums up this video. I'll make sure to keep you all updated on the changes that are going on. I know that my survival guide, some of the stuff that I put in there is a little bit outdated, so I'm probably going to release a more updated guide for survival pretty soon, and Beast Mastery is also coming within the week. So if you enjoyed the video, please like it, comment what you think about the changes for Warlords of Draenor, comment on what you want to see, and subscribe if you're new. So thank you for watching, see you later.